Sometimes you'll be asked to deliver a review. Obviously, that means that you'll have to write the review first, but let us look at delivering a review in class. It will also be about 4 to 5 minutes. Perhaps in grade 10, you might be given 3 to 4 minutes, but it's between 3 and 5 minutes long. And what is a review? Very important to remember that it is an evaluation, and it has to do with you evaluating a certain book or film or something. And that means that it includes an emotional response to a book, a film, and then with substantiation. But be very careful, there's a very thin line. Don't make it too emotional, too personal. You're going to have to focus on the work of art first. And your adjectives, the adjectives that you use, will reveal how you feel about the film. So don't, be careful not to let the focus be on you, but on the book and your evaluation of it. Let's have a look. So, why do we write and deliver reviews? Now, the review, if it's delivered, of course, will be for an oral mark. So we'll say it's designed to help the readers or the viewers to work out whether they would enjoy reading the book or watching the film. You would give key details about the work and a sense of what it would be like to read the book or watch the film. But you must never spoil it by giving away the ending, either of the book or the film. So this is what it's like to read this book. This is what it's about, more or less, but don't give the ending, the plot ending. Now, pre-speaking, before you deliver this review, decide which film or book you feel passionate about to review. You're not going to review a book that you actually hated or that you thought was very mediocre. Find a book or a film that you felt passionate about, because you have the option, you have the choice. Then, of course, you're going to have to reread or rewatch that book or film to really get to know your own feelings about this work of art. How also you're going to plan how to structure your review, and make sure that you have an introduction, a body, and a conclusion, because it is a mini speech that you're giving to your teacher or to a moderator, an external moderator, and you must have a proper structure. Of course, you are allowed to use audiovisual aids. If you are reviewing a film, you can have clips from the film, you can have pictures from the film. If it's a book, there can always also be illustrating photographs or something like that. Then you do research about the film or the book so that you have lots of information to choose from. Of course, you're going to select what you're going to use. You write the review on based on your plan and your research. You are, as in the case with any speech, you're going to have your cue cards, and of course, you're going to have to make sure that you incorporate your audio visual aids very cleverly and very smoothly into your speech. Please practice a lot, as you would do with your prepared speech or anything that you deliver for marks. Practice a lot. Practice in front of the mirror or in front of friends. If you're doing it in front of a friend or a family member, ask for feedback. Ask them to be brutally honest with you. How do they really feel about your delivery? How good was it? How bad? What should you perhaps work on? Ask for feedback and try it again. Make improvements and so on. Don't fall in love with the first review that you wrote and even if you get the negative feedback, think, oh, I'm not going to change it because I love what I did. Be critical of your own work and then make improvements. Make sure that you stick to the time restriction, because if you go over your time, you are going to be stopped or you will lose marks because you will be given a time restriction. Usually it's about 4 to 5 minutes for grade 12, the review, and for grade 10 and 11, it'll be between 3 and 4, or so 3 to 4 minutes for grades 10 or 11. Then you look at the film review, for instance, what should it include? Okay, the title. We did this in the writing and presenting as well. The title, the genre, the director, the actors, actresses, characters, and names of those. You're also going to have to mention the setting, where it takes place, and a first part of the plot. You're going to say who you think it will appeal to, the older generation or young teenagers or something, and then you'll give an overall opinion of the quality. You might also, if it is part of a certain movement or a certain genre of works, say something about that. You might want to say something about the writer, the producer, something about the mood, the themes, and you are going to, of course, refer to your clips. Now, we said already, choose a film that you've appreciated or that you have mixed feelings about, so that you can say nice things and not such nice things about. Be very confident about what you're saying, because it's your value judgment, and please give evidence for your judgment, how you feel about it. End with a single overarching comment about the work, something very broad. Choose your words carefully. Stay focused on the form, not on your own emotions, and indicate your judgment with a very specially chosen group of words or selection of words. When you when you present the film review, you can remember that the aspects that I've mentioned to you that should be included needn't be in that order. It can be in any order. Remember, you can have a style of your own. It can be in any order. You can, for instance, start with a quote that's relevant. You can focus on the form, as I said, not on your feelings. I'm going to give you like the introductory part of a review that I took from the internet. It's on Nomadland, the Oscar-winning film, recent one. People wish to be settled. Ralph Waldo Emerson wrote. So starting, can you see, with a quote. The tension between stability and uprooting, between the illusory consolations of home and the risky lure of the open road, lies at the heart of Nomadland. So can you see a mention of central theme? Chloe, Zhao's expansive and intimate third feature. So we've got something about the director. Based on a certain book, right? On what book is it based? And then they mention stars. Stars such as Fern, a fictional former resident of a formerly real place. We have something here about the setting. The movie begins with the end of the empire. Can you see? You give some of the information, where it starts, etc. It goes on to talk about the gypsum mine. It's also a setting still. And then characters. Fern, a widow, she's one of the main characters, takes to the highway in a white van that she christens with the name Vanguard. And customizes this van with a sleeping alcove, a cooking area, and a storage space. Goes on with that. Then it goes on to where she joins a certain tribe. Can you see? Still giving a little bit more of the plot, a subculture and a literal movement of the itinerant Americans and their vehicles, an unsettled nation, blah, blah. So once again, a bit of the theme. What is the story all about? Now, I didn't bring in the ending, because what would we bring in still? We've mentioned all those things, and then finally you're going to have to say, who do you think this film would appeal to? I don't know whether you've watched it. Um, mention all the Oscar awards that this film actually got, and then give, nevertheless, your own overall value judgment of the film's worth. You don't need to always, agree with everything you read um, about a film or that you hear about it. When you have the book review, we've got the virtually the same kind of order. We've got the title, the author, the genre, the setting, the characters, the plot, the movement, the themes, publisher. Perhaps you can include a price, and who would it appeal to, and what is the quality. Can you see the same things that you would include in a film review will happen in a book review? And also correlate, if you do this oral exercise, correlate with the writing and presenting um, part of your course, where the book review is also discussed.